time, none of these companies will rent to me. I know what I can do. I'll drive around. I'll look for someone that individually owns a property. They might rent to me. And I hope this guy says yes. Hi, you must be Tina. Before we get started, I was wondering, what are your requirements to move in? To be honest with you, I just need someone that has a job that'll pay rent and keep up with the place. I can do all of that. I actually can put down the first and last month's rent today if you could rent it to me. Bring me your check stubs that deposit the rent, and let's do this. What? Really? Awesome. Thank you.
I'm gonna pull over. Oh my god, there's a car behind me. I can't leave, right? Oh, he knows I'm on this side. I'll go up.
Oh, I'm sorry, damn, bro. This is the government that must shoot you. Fuck.
We got trouble getting in the zone. Yeah. Hang on a minute. Oh my god, thank goodness! Oh my god, we've been trapped in here for hours. My sister's ring got caught in the drain and we're trying to get it out of the idiot managed to close the top on us. I'll be right back. Where's she going? She's just gone to see how to open the door.
Where's my watch later?
The moment I saw Karen's luxury SUV parked fully inside my locked workshop, with the engine off and not a soul around, I honestly thought I was having a heat stroke. My tools were scattered, my latest build was blocked in, and on the front windshield was a sticky note that simply said, I needed shade. Thanks. That's it. No apology. No number. Not even her name. Just that smug, entitled scribble that somehow managed to turn my $300,000 restoration project into her personal sunshine. I didn't scream. I didn't call the cops. I picked up my welder, sealed everything shut like a vault, and took myself a vacation out of state. And oh yeah, I left the cameras rolling. 2 weeks before this fix, things finally ended. My clients were happy, and I just installed a hydraulic lift that made restoring classic muscle cars an absolute joy. My workshop wasn't just a place of work. It was my peace, my pride, and honestly, the only reason I could stand living under the iron rule of an HOA that had more drama than a reality show reunion. But I figured as long as I kept my nose down and didn't paint anything neon or leave people on lawn, I'd stay out there long. That was the day Karen moved to the corner locked down. Drawing a white escalator, blasting opera music with the windows down, yelling at the people, stacking the vertically instead of horizontally. Within 48 hours, she had introduced herself via a laminated pamphlet titled Karen's Guide to a Better Neighborhood, which included her made-up vision, a choice liaison with parking and aesthetics. I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. A week later, I caught the measure of the length of my driveway. I have to look at it.
unsettled her eyes. Then she noticed my clients laughing. Yes, most were laughed off by the other board members, who found her annoying but harmless. But harmless turned hostile back. One morning, I came out with coffee and find her tires picked up like done donuts. I had a nerve to get the front lawn and shout. Sorry, temporary parking. I chalked it up to a wonder. Maybe she had guessed. Maybe she was I left a hand short, polite, direct. Please don't park on my shop and train. This area is under business on Thank you. The next morning, my note was gone. So was her talk. That's the red tire all the way up to the end of my hydraulic ramp. I checked the camera. She had driven up at midnight, stood in front of the shop for a moment, directly nope. Just entitlement with headlines. That's when I contacted the HOA board directly. I sent the person. I explained the safety concern, especially considering I often use flammable materials, sharp tools, and heavy equipment. But the response was diplomatic. Still looking HOA president. Man who spent more time worrying about fence heights than actual use. I asked if they'd at least issue a notice or talk to me. He muttered something about not wanting to escalate neighbor tension. Formal, plain straight. Translation, or on his own. So I called the local officer. A month prior, he showed up again. He watched the footage and raised an eyebrow. You say she parked inside your workshop? I nodded. She's not authorized? No, all right, sounds like trespassing. Water. Lost my car. I thought it was village. Running down. Hold the coffee cup. Opposite side. Look. File a return document. Mustard smile. That paid off. Just one I stood there wondering how someone could lie so confidently while knowing they were caught on that topic. Parking directly in front of the workshop every other day. While I was inside working when I asked what the hell they were doing, she smiled. Just checking the safety measures. Then she got into her SUV, drove off, left behind the cloud. That's when I decided I ordered motion-triggered alarms. I repositioned them. I even installed reinforced brackets around the door. None of it worked. Not when the HOA refused to act and the police kept kicking it back as a civil nuisance. Karen had found the loophole and was exploiting it with Olympic-level dedication. Until the day she took it one step too far. It was a Friday. I had stepped out for 20 minutes to grab one. When I returned, the workshop was shut, locked, but purely quiet. Access gate and saw it. The SOA. Just but inside, fully parked between my workbench and lift, like it belonged to me. No note, no Karen, no contact. I stood there, jaw slack, watching as my stress levels caught fire. I called her, straight to voicemail. I knocked on her door. No answer. I texted, "Your car is inside my workshop. This is trespassing."
I emphasize again, it is free to join my community. The stocks I share are also free. The techniques and strategies I teach are also free. So please don't ask me if I charge a fee, and don't say it's a scam. I only need popularity and word results, not the so-called membership fee. If you want to get the stocks I offer, please join me first. Make sure it fits your own ideas and then buy a little to verify. I only have one account and never charge any fees.
So much the dogs are excited to see me. Throughout the years, our dog keeper was consistently scheduled with the mom to keep up the time. She gives me as lessons of comfort when on the shoulder. I did not realize my dog was
Your car is inside my workshop. This is trespassing. Move it or I'm calling a tow. She replied 3 hours later with, oops, was in a rush. I'll swing by later. Don't touch my vehicle. That was the last straw. I didn't scream. I didn't yell. I didn't call anyone. I grabbed my welding gloves, fired up the machine, and sealed every workshop door shut with a thick line of molten steel. 6 points across 3 doors, reinforced and secure. I made sure the cameras caught it all. Then I packed my bag, booked a flight to Colorado, and sent one final message to Karen. Don't worry, your car will be safe. The building's locked up tighter than Fort Knox. And with that, I went on vacation, knowing full well that I had just turned her Escalade into the most expensive storage unit in town. By the time my flight landed in Denver, I had already received 6 missed calls, 3 voicemails, and a barrage of texts, all from one unamused, absolutely unhinged Karen. The tone started civil, just barely. Her first message read, "Hi, I noticed the doors seem stuck. Can you unlock them, please?" 20 minutes later, she followed up with, "This isn't funny." Then, like flipping a switch, her tone turned hostile and shrill. "This is illegal imprisonment. You can't trap someone's car like this." I scrolled through each ridiculous message while waiting for my brother to pick me up, each one getting more frantic than the last. But I had already put my phone on silent and enabled all security feed backups to the cloud. Whatever Karen thought she could pull now, it was too late. Back home, the show had just begun. According to my neighbor Frank, who lived directly across the street and was only too happy to keep me informed, Karen spent the first few hours pacing in front of the shop like a lioness who realized her den was welded shut. She called the police almost immediately, playing her favorite role, the innocent victim. But this time, it didn't land the way she expected. When the officers arrived and she whined about being locked out of her own SUV, they quickly found themselves confused. One peek at the security feed from my front-facing camera revealed what they needed to know. Karen had entered my private workshop without permission and parked inside it. I hadn't moved the car or tampered with it in any way. I simply secured my building while she happened to be inside it. The officers, as Frank told me while chuckling over the phone, shrugged and told her, "Ma'am, it sounds like a civil dispute. You might need to call a locksmith." Karen's next genius move was exactly that. She tried to bring in a locksmith, but the man took one look at the welded steel seams and said he wasn't touching that mess. "Liability," he muttered. Karen lost it. She demanded he cut through it, even offered him cash on the spot. When he refused, she threw a tantrum so loud Frank could hear it from his porch. She yelled into her phone about needing to get the fire department involved, and even tried to get animal control to investigate a strange chemical smell coming from inside. Of course, there was nothing of the sort, just the rich scent of metal, grease, and karma marinating under a sealed roof. The HOA caught wind of the situation on the second day. Mr. Lewis, ever the reluctant leader, left me a message that tried desperately to stay neutral. He said, "Ray, I hope you're doing well. There's been some concern raised about access to the workshop. I think it would be best to resolve this peacefully." I didn't bother replying. Instead, I posted a note to the community board with one line. "My private workshop is locked and monitored for security purposes. Any unauthorized vehicles are being documented." That post got more likes than anything I'd ever put up. Neighbors were watching this whole fiasco unfold like a reality show in real time. Day 3, Karen escalated. She showed up with a news van. Yep, Channel 8 local news parked on the edge of the cul-de-sac. And out came a reporter and cameraman. Karen stood dramatically in front of the workshop, arms crossed, acting like she was a whistleblower revealing some dark neighborhood conspiracy. The segment aired that night under the ridiculous headline, "Local Woman's Car Held Hostage by Neighbor." But to her horror, the camera crew had also interviewed Frank, who calmly explained to the reporter that Karen had illegally entered someone's private property, parked her SUV inside their workspace, and was now trying to play the victim after being caught. The station aired both sides. Comments online quickly turned against Karen. The true kicker came on day 4, when an anonymous email was sent to the HOA board. It contained scanned documents showing Karen's SUV registration was expired and her license was currently suspended due to a pending hit-and-run case in a neighboring county. The documents were verified, and suddenly the same woman demanding justice was now exposed as someone who shouldn't have been driving at all. Once again, the pieces began falling into place, and Karen was on the wrong end of every one of them.
Here's what you can and cannot buy with the 2020 Mercedes-Benz car. You can
Again, the pieces began falling into place, and Karen was on the wrong end of every one of them. Meanwhile, I was having the most peaceful vacation I'd had in years. My brother and I went hiking in the Rockies, grilled steaks, played pool in his garage, and watched reruns of old action flick. Every night, I'd check the security feed just to see what flavor of meltdown Karen was serving that day. One night she arrived with bolt cutters and 2 large men who looked like they'd been hired off a Craigslist ad. They approached the shop, eyed the welded seams, and one of them audibly said, "Nope, I'm not risking a lawsuit." Karen shouted something about cowards as they got back into their truck and drove away. On the 6th day, she tried something new. She posted on the community forum a long, poorly punctuated rant accusing me of theft, vandalism, harassment.